Hello, welcome to today's qigong session. And I can see that today is number 20 of our qigong sessions that I've done with the virtual village hall, which is amazing. So I've been doing these qigong sessions. Shibashi qigong is the qigong Tai Chi for health that I share, that I'm trained in. And I love sharing it online, so you can watch it live or watch it back. It's a joy to share. And the time's flown by. So whether you're brand new and you're joining for the first time, you might have tried Qigong before or Tai Chi with somebody else. So you might have a bit of understanding, or you might be brand new. Either way, you're very welcome. And for those that have attended my sessions before, it's lovely to have you join again. Okay, so I'll introduce myself just for those who are new. My name is Stella, and I am from Soul Space Unlimited. I'm a holistic practitioner and also a Qigong Tai Chi for health instructor. I share Qigong because it's made such a difference to me. So on my health journey, living with fatigue, chronic health symptoms, I found moving my body gently through Qigong and Tai Chi has been life-changing. It's really helped me. So I share that because it's great to be able to see that in other people, my students too. One of the great things about Qigong is it's really accessible. So no matter what your situation is, whether you have a disability, sometimes that might be an invisible disability, or it might be a long-term condition. Whatever your situation, whether you're standing or seated for this session, you can participate. You might need to adjust some of the moves, I'll guide you through that. But really, it's about balancing, connecting with your body, relaxation, and getting that energy flowing, moving around your system. Okay, so I love Qigong, as you can tell, and I'm going to really focus today on that balancing energy for our session. The difference between Qigong and Tai Chi, just really quickly, is Tai Chi is like the umbrella. So you've probably heard of Tai Chi, and you can imagine people doing quite quick, maybe martial arts movements. Qigong is the more gentle, spiritual, sort of well-being side of the practice. For example, the masters that are practicing Tai Chi all the time, every day in teaching, they use Qigong to cultivate their energy. So it's a really great way to cultivate our energy. To make sure that we are balanced, like we're going to focus today, and that we're able to feel as healthy as we can in our everyday life. Okay, so we've got a meridian system, and we're going to focus on moving that energy around our meridian system. If you come across acupuncture or acupressure, then you'll have an idea of that. In Chinese medicine, we're a whole body system. You can't separate the mind from the body, or a symptom up here from something down there. It's all connected. So with these meridians, these streams that run across around the body, they're meant to flow like water, nice and clear. But when we've got pain or aches, or we just feel off, out of balance, it might be mental health, it might be physical, then it means something's stuck. So today we're going to help you to get that energy flowing a bit more. Okay. To begin, make sure you've got some water, ideally near you, because this is a healing practice. So we're making sure that you're going to be hydrated, and please drink plenty after your session as well. Make sure you've got lots of room around you, or as much as you can have. I know, when we're doing these things from home, you have to work with what you have. But ideally, make sure that you can move your arms around you and you're not going to hit anything, just to make sure that you are safe. If you are taking part seated, whether you are in a chair or you're using a wheelchair, please just make sure you keep yourself obviously comfortable, but keep yourself safe. So if there are arms on the chair, that's not ideal. Really, you want a chair that doesn't have arms. But sometimes that's not possible, particularly if you're using a wheelchair. So just make sure that you listen to what you need and adjust the moves to suit you. It's all about listening to your body, really, and feeling empowered to adjust things so it suits you. And if you are seated, make sure that you ideally, if you can, have your feet planted on the floor or on the steps on your chair, but ideally the floor, and they're nice and flat, and that you're leaning forwards in your chair, so you're not slumping back like this. If possible, you probably need to edge forwards to the edge of the chair, sitting down. Make sure you've got a nice straight back, just to protect yourself. Importantly, protect your back in that process. Okay. So take a few moments to do that. So we'll go through some stretches just to warm up the body. For those that are regulars will know that I talk a lot about tension. So we're going to help you to release some tension from your body. Shoulders are the usual place. You'll have your own areas in your body where you hold tension. We're going to help you to release some of that. That's really crucial because in the qigong practice, we are moving that qi energy around the meridians. And if there's tension, it's going to block. It's not going to flow. If it's soft, the body's flowing, and that qi energy is going to flow, and you're going to get much more benefit from this practice. And that's obviously what we want. Okay. And qigong, everyone's unsure how to pronounce it. So it's qigong, but it really doesn't matter. Please don't worry. It's also known as Tai Chi for health, as I mentioned, because people recognize that name and it's easier to say. but yeah, don't worry. So we're going to begin with these stretches. We're going to interlock our fingers, just like so, and we're going to start just by rotating the wrists. Remember what I said, your unique situation, you might need to miss some moves out, perhaps they're uncomfortable for you, or not possible. Just adjust to suit your needs. And rotate your wrist the other way. There's a lot of coordination going on in this, so if you're struggling in terms of coordinating and it's hard to go the other way, that's really normal, don't worry. These have been designed, these stretches, to engage the mind and to be challenging. You want your arms and your wrists to be as loose and soft as possible whilst you do this, so they're sort of nice and floppy. You don't want to be tense like this. And you might be to begin. It takes time to retrain the body to be more relaxed and to let go. Keeping your fingers interlocked, we're going to do a nice stretch at the bottom and come up the other way. So we're keeping this movement on your center line. Center line is, just to give you an idea, it's the torso and it's the chest down to your navel. We're just keeping this motion, just up and down. Ideally, you don't want it to be going all over the place, but it takes practice. Be kind to yourself. And then we're going to go the other way. Again, you want your arms, your wrists to be nice and soft. You want to be taking nice, steady breaths whilst you do this. Okay. We're going to bring the thumb and the fingers together nice and softly, just like this, and we're going to place them just here under your collarbone. So we're going to stretch out the shoulders. We're going to work out some of that tension. Taking a breath in, we're going to bring the arms up, all the way up, and breathe out as they come down. In, out, in. Try not to tense up when you do this. That can be the automatic thing. See if you can soften your shoulders, your arms a few percent more. And the other way. And the reason I always say softening just a few percent more, a little bit more, is because we can't force ourselves to relax. We can invite the body to soften a little at a time. And then ideally we'll find, at the end of this session, this class, you will feel softer, you will feel a bit more relaxation. As I said, it takes time to remind our system how to let go. We're carrying a lot of tension. It might be quite alien to let it go. So just be patient with yourself. Keeping the hands here. This time we're going to do like a rowing backwards motion. And I want you to really focus on your waist. So when we bring our elbow back, we're turning the waist. The move is connected. So I'll just show you. Turning the waist, bringing the elbow back. We're going to do the other side. So the key is that connection. They move together. You can test it by just pausing the waist and making sure your arm stops moving too. The reason this is important is because Tai Chi is partly about learning to move in a different way. You know, if you've grown up in the West, then there's certain habits in terms of how we move our body that aren't entirely healthy at times. Tai Chi is a different way to be in our body and to move, and it's a much healthier way. And start rowing the other way. I'll just show you from the side what it looks like. So turning the waist brings the arm forward. Again, see if you can soften your shoulders a bit more. There's actually a lot of things to think about and focus on when we're doing even just these stretches. There's a lot of mindfulness to Tai Chi and Qigong, which is partly what makes it so healthy, so good for us. Okay, give your shoulders a bit of a shake. Okay, so we're going to bring our fists together, but really loose. So we never clench tightly in Qigong. It's nice and soft. And we're going to just practice a bit of Tai Chi movement. So we're going to bring our arms out in front of us with our fists very loosely together, clenched. And we're going to just make sure we're not too tense. We're going to soften down a little. So this means we're softening our knees. So our legs aren't locked out tight. We've got a softness, a slight bend in the knee. And we invite our shoulders to soften, our arms to relax as much as they can. And it's kind of like you're hugging a tree. So you've got this circular trunk shape. We're going to turn the waist, keeping our hands, our fists on our center line. You can connect your thumbs together if that helps you keep that center line focus. The key is, as we move our waist to one side, when the waist reaches that natural point where it doesn't want to go any further, make sure you don't overturn. It can be really subtle. We stop and we go the other way, making sure that we keep our hands on the center line. So remember, your center line is this place here. So what you don't want to be doing is going like this. You know, the waist stops, but the arms keep going. That's not what we're doing. Nice and subtle movements, really slow to begin. Just turning each side. It takes a lot of focus. Make sure you're breathing as you do this. So as your torso turns, your waist turns, your center line turns slightly, and you're keeping those fists on your center line. This can actually be easier to do seated sometimes because it's it's more difficult for you to go beyond that normal turn. So you can practice this seated. Give your shoulders a bit of a shake. Okay, some of you might find that really challenging. Some of you might not have. We're all different. So just be kind to yourself. It's taken me years to connect that turn of the waist in the movement. I've been practicing Tai Chi for 6 years now, and in the Tai Chi scheme of things, that's nothing. Tai Chi is something we're always learning. It's a journey. It's kind of a way of being, kind of how you move in the world, and how you move your body, your approach to life in terms of sort of philosophy and Taoism. It's all about the flow. It's a whole world to discover with Tai Chi if you are interested, but also know that, it takes time. So be patient with yourself. Okay, so this time we're still thinking about the turning in the waist. This time we're going to let our arms just flop by our side. This is one of the best stretches to take away if you just take one stretch away from this. And it's really nice because it's easy and it really uplifts the energy in your body. It's a good stretch. So this is one of the ones that make sure you're not going to hit anything. And we're just going to turn the waist side to side and we're going to let our arms just hang. Key things to remember. You want your arms to be as relaxed and floppy as possible. So you don't want to be doing this. But remember, gently invite your body to let go of a little bit more tension. So it's that turn in the waist that wraps the arms around the body. If you turn quicker, your arms are going to wrap around you more. And if you turn slowly, then it's all going to slow down. So as we wrap our arms around us, we're tapping our different meridian points, connected to different organs and elements and emotions. Keep breathing, nice steady breaths. And you can bend your elbow and just slap your upper arm. And you want to have a little cupped shape hand with the hand that you're slapping your upper arm with. So it's not flat, you've got a slight cup shape. It's all about helping the energy flow. This one is a bit tricky if you're sitting down. So you might miss this stretch out. And begin to speed up a bit more if you can. Slow down. And speed up again. And slow down. And you might notice a sensation around your body. When I do that, I can feel the energy moving in my body, a bit of uplift. And we're all different. Some of us feel, that energy and that movement around the system, and some people don't. So there's no right or wrong. But that's a good way to test, that turn in your waist and making sure that, your arms are as relaxed as they can be. The stretches that we're doing, you don't need to do them before you do qigong. Qigong is a stretch in itself. You'll see that with some of the moves that we do. But it just helps you get the most out of today, as I said. But if you want to take away a few of the qigong moves, which I think you really, that would be really good if you do, don't feel like you need to do all these stretches. You don't. Just a few qigong moves a day is a great starting point that you can then build on, starting small, taking small steps. Is a really great place to begin. Placing a hand on one hip, we're just going to feel a nice stretch up the side as we lean over. Coming back. And if you're seated, you just miss this swing out. You can still do this nice stretch up the side. And the other side. Just give your shoulders a bit of a shake. We're going to place one hand up to the shoulder. And we're going to just do a little movement forwards with our palm facing up. We're going to turn the palm over. And we're going to turn the waist with a slight bow shape in the arm, bring it back and feed it through. You want your arm to be as soft as possible. We say as yin as possible, and that yin and the yang, yin energy is soft, relaxed, gentle energy. It's kind of that Mother Nature shadowy energy opposed to the yang, which is all vibrant sun, bright, energetic. And we're going to go the other way, palm facing down, turning your waist as you bring the arm back, palm upwards, turn the waist as you feed it over. So it's all connected. You're making big circles. If your waist stops moving, your arm stops moving too. And then we're going to go to the other side. So again, hand on the shoulder. This is to remind your shoulder to stay down. I'll show you from the side this time. So palm facing up, bring it up in front, turn it over, and the waist with a slight bow shape in your arm, so it's not straight or completely, on a right angle. And then turn the waist as you feed it through. And then we're going to go the other way, palm out in front, facing down. Turn your waist as you bring the arm back, palm facing up, over. And as you get more comfortable with this movement, it seems simple, but might not be as simple as it seems. There's lots to think about. See if you can soften your neck, your shoulders a little bit more. Make sure that you're not locking your legs out. There's a little soft bend in your knees. Okay, give your shoulders a shake. We're going to just squeeze the arch of your thumb. So we're going to just do a bit of a stretch for the neck. And whatever thumb you're holding, your left or your right, you're going to turn your neck on that side. So I'm holding my left thumb. I'm going to turn my head to the left. Doesn't matter which side you start, but you just want to give that arch of your thumb a nice squeeze. That's comfortable. Squeeze it as hard as you can. Make sure it's comfortable. Don't hurt yourself. And we're just going to turn the neck to that side. Just feeling a nice stretch in the neck, coming back to the center. And we're going to turn again the same side, holding the same thumb. And back to the center. Other thumb going to the other side. So I'm holding my right thumb. I'm going to turn my head to the right. And be careful not to overturn or stretch. We don't push in qigong. It's really gentle. Back to the center. One more time. Okay. And relaxing your hands. Just have a little look up. And letting it down. Okay. And shake out some of that tension a bit more. We're just helping some of that tension leave the body. Good. Popping our hands on our lower back, so just on our kidney points. We're just going to do some circles. So starting small, making circles with your hips. Winding these circles out bigger. Make them as big as feels comfortable for you. Begin to wind back in again, getting smaller. And when you reach the central point again, you can wind out the other way, starting small. Sometimes in qigong, we say, if you could do 100%, bring it back and do 70. And the idea of that is that a lot of exercises, particularly in the West, like going to the gym and more cardio focused, are about pushing, and they have their place. But qigong isn't about that. It's about meeting your body where it is. Begin to wind back in again. Meeting your body where it is, understanding your limits, and being really gentle. So it's sustainable exercise that is more accessible. We can do a little bit every day. Keeping your hands on your lower back. For those that are comfortable, if you've got any issues with your back, then you might miss this one out. But some tips as we do this. We're going to just do a little bit of a stretch for the back of the legs. It'll be like a dipping motion. Make sure you keep your back nice and straight. Pull your shoulders back and look ahead. That will help protect your back. This is just for people that are doing exercises standing. So nice lower back. We're just going to lean forward and just do some dips. Nice straight back. Feel the stretch up the back of your legs. Should be a nice stretch. Just doing a few of those to help some of that tension leave the legs. We're not doing much work with the legs today, so we don't need to worry too much. But in more traditional Tai Chi, and with the martial arts side, there's obviously a lot of movements in the legs. There's a lot of stretches designed for that. Stop feeling that tension. Coming back up nice and slowly. Give your back a bit of a rub. Okay. And just give your legs, I know you can't see my legs properly, but I'm just giving them a bit of a shake. So the stretches that we've just done, we haven't done all of the Chen Tai Chi stretches that that I would usually do. We've done some of them for our session today, but just to let you know, those are the stretches that are taught in the Chen Tai Chi village by the trainers, by the Chen family, who are the original. That's the original Tai Chi. There's lots of different branches and groups and forms of Tai Chi now, and the Chen family are the original. And those stretches, they do them every day, I've been told by my teacher. They do them every day to prepare their body for the Tai Chi, which they do for many hours a day. But we don't need to do them all because we're not going to be doing Tai Chi all day. Okay, so we're about ready to go into our Shibashi set. Shibashi actually stands for 18 moves. So the set that we're going to do is set 1. We're going to do some really gentle, really beautiful qigong movements. Qigong is a breath exercise. So we are connecting with our breath and our breathing. If you're somebody that struggles with breath, I know some people with long COVID, it can be an issue or other conditions. That's okay. You can, if it makes you anxious to focus on your breathing, then disregard that. Just focus on the movements. But for those of you that are comfortable with that, we will do a little bit of a breath exercise at the start. Key things to remember when we're doing the qigong movements. You want to make sure the movement is adapted to fit your breathing, not the other way around. So you shouldn't be holding your breath at any stage. Okay? And you want your body to be as soft as possible. I'll guide you through and give you some tips and pointers on how to do that. But also, don't need to do this perfectly. Okay? It's not about getting it, perfectly or right. It is really about just moving in a different way, maybe being a bit playful and just seeing where it leads you. I'm just going to have some water. So to begin, start with your feet together. And we're gently going to lean the weight into one of our hips, it doesn't matter which side, and bend the opposite knee. And the leg with the bent knee, we're going to just move that slightly so our feet are shoulder width apart, and we're going to come into a 50-50 balance. All of that's done really gently. So we're not just doing this. Everything has to be done really gently to keep that balance. It's all about balance. The yin and the yang sign of Tai Chi. It's all about that balance that comes from our opposites. So with your feet shoulder width apart, make sure that your legs aren't locked out. Knees very slightly soft and bent. Just finding your posture, arms by your side. You can imagine that you've got a string coming at the top of your head, holding you nice and tall. I also like to imagine roots going down from my feet into the earth. So we're connecting these different elements. The heavens, the skies up above, and the earthiness down below. We're just going to do some breathing for those that are comfortable to do so. Placing a hand on the chest, a hand on the tummy. We're going to take just 4 nice deep breaths together. And these are going to be in through the nose all the way to the top. We're going to hold for a few seconds, and then we're going to breathe out with a sigh, and that out breath wants to be a little bit longer than your in breath ideally. And as we breathe in, we want our belly to be expanding, kind of like there's a balloon expanding. And then when we let everything go and breathe out, that balloon deflates. So our hands can help us be aware that that breathing is coming from the belly. Taking a nice deep breath in, holding it at the top, and breathing out. Again, in, hold, out. In, hold, out. One more. Breathing in through your nose, hold, out through the mouth. See if you can keep that natural belly breathing. You don't have to really emphasize your breathing when we're doing qigong. Just follow that natural flow, and ideally, nice deep belly breaths so you're not shallow and anxious from the chest, which makes us feel less balanced and more stressed. Okay, so arms by your side to begin. You can practice qigong with your eyes opened or closed, but obviously you'll want to see me to begin to introduce you to the moves. And we're just going to take a moment to ground, feel our feet on the ground if we can, arms hanging by our side. And we're going to go into the first move, which is called commence. We're going to take a breath in as we float the arms up, and we're going to breathe out as we float them down. Really simple. In, out. In. So remember, see if your shoulders can soften a few percent more. Make sure they don't creep up as you lift your arms up. And make sure that you're breathing in as you float up. And when your lungs are at the top, that's when you stop and breathe out and let all that air. Okay. And we're going to go into opening chest. So we move a little quicker this time because we're covering more ground. And remember, we want to make sure we adjust the movement to fit our breathing, because our breathing should be staying the same. So we breathe in, open up the chest, and breathe out as we come in and down. Breathing in, lifting the hands up, opening, coming in, down. You begin to find your rhythm. It's okay if your breath cycle's different to mine. You might not be in complete flow with me, and that's okay. More important that you connect with your body and what feels right for you. One more. Okay. We're going to bring our hands up our center line all the way to the top. We're going to place one hand above our head, and we're going to put the other hand out with a nice flat palm. This is one of the more difficult moves. Okay, make sure your shoulders don't creep up too much as you do this. We're going to take a breath in as we swap the arms over, looking at this other outstretched hand. And we breathe out as we come the other way. So just find your natural breathing rhythm and adjust these arm movements to match your breath. In, out. This is Dancing with Rainbows. It's a beautiful name. It can put a lot of pressure on the shoulders, so if you need a rest, that's okay. And we're going to come down. We're going to go into circling arms now. So we take a breath in, we circle our hands across, and then we breathe out as we come down. So do your check so your shoulders are as soft as they can be. Have you got that softness in your knees? When your hands are at the top, is your breath ready to release and let go? You can imagine all this energy around you that we're just mixing up, all this qi. Qi is in qigong. Qi is your life force energy. It's that energy that moves around the meridians and all around your system. Everything's made up of energy. We're bringing it into balance. Okay, bringing your arms out in front of you. So a lot of the stretches that we did at the start are a good way to prepare you for some of these moves. So remember that turning your waist and the arm coming back that we practiced. So the arms are out in front of you like so. And we're going to turn the waist, bring the arm back, and then we're going to breathe out as it comes forward. So it's kind of like swimming through the air, breathing in, turning the waist, breathing out as you come forwards. Each side, in, out, in, out, in, out. So the waist is doing part of that ready for you. It's not all in the arms. Let the momentum and turn of your whole torso, your waist, really help you make these moves as easy as possible. Okay, keeping your arms out in front of you, we're going to go into rowing boat. So we take a breath in, we bring the arms all the way up and over as we breathe out. This is an example of a nice stretch. Really connect with your breathing, making sure that when you reach the top, your lungs are full. When you come down, you're letting it all go. When you reach the bottom, your lungs are empty. And just let your arms hang by your side. Okay, we're going to lift ball across the body. So we take a breath in, we turn the waist and lift this imaginary ball on our palm. Turn it over and breathe out as it comes back. In. So it's really important that you are turning the waist. All are part of the motion. If you're struggling to find that connection with the waist, that's okay. It's not unusual to struggle with that. If that's the case, then just focus on your breath, matching your movements. And this ball that you're lifting is so light, it takes no effort. Okay, now we're going to go into carrying moon. So this area here is our dantian, and we're going to focus on our lower dantian, just below our navel. So this area is like your kind of like your bank of energy. It's your center, your source. It's really important. And we're going to hold a full moon, so a big sphere, this big whole moon. We're going to hold it here at our dantian. We're going to take a breath in as we float the moon up into the sky. In. And we're going to breathe out as we float it back down to that dantian point. Other side, in and out. So we're stretching a little bit behind the body for this, opposed to just to the side. And for those that are standing, you can lift up your heel as you lift the moon up if you want to. That allows us to engage different acupressure points on the feet as well. It's all going to help your chi energy flow. Okay, keeping your hands by your side. This time we're going to take a breath in and we're going to push the palm across the body. We're going to twist and breathe in as it comes in. Out. In. So you're not locking your arm out. You've got that softness in your elbow. And it can help to imagine that you've got this thick air around you and you don't want to disturb it. So you move as gracefully as you possibly can. You can set yourself that task and you move even more gently, even more gracefully. Make sure you're breathing out as you push, breathing in as you bring it back in with that turn of your waist. Okay. We're going to go into playing with clouds. This is partly like that move we were doing at the beginning with the turning the waist and the centre line. So we're going to place the hands out in front of us, just like so, one slightly above the other. Keeping these hands on our centre line, we're going to turn the waist. And when your waist turns as far as it wants to, we swap the hands over and we go the other way. So don't overturn, it can be really subtle. When the waist stops moving, you stop the arms and you swap your palms over. Soften your shoulders a few percent more. You can focus on that top hand for meditation. Nice, steady breaths. Okay, coming down. We're going to go into, well, we're going to go to the seaside. So we're going to do some moves on each side, and they're about water, energy, waves. So just go with that and imagine it if you can, if that helps you. So if you are seated, be careful not to compress your chest or your heart, particularly if you've got any heart conditions. Really just make the moves smaller so they're safe and comfortable. And for those that are standing, we're going to do a scooping motion in a minute. And you can go as far down as you want to, but again, listen to your body. So if you've got a heart condition or low blood pressure, it's best just to stay quite upright. I don't tend to dip very far down, but everybody's different. So we're going to start with, we've got our feet, again, I know you can't see my legs, but we've got our feet about a distance apart, just whatever's comfortable for you, a small step apart, doesn't need to be much. And we're going to lean forward slightly down as we scoop up the sea, and we're going to breathe out as we come back. So it's leaning forwards as we scoop. So we're circling our arms like earlier in the other move, and then we're breathing out as we shower ourselves with all of that lovely water. In, leaning forwards, and then breathing out as we lean back. It's a nice gentle rocking motion. And the legs are doing all the work. Our upper body's nice, yin and soft. Breathing in as we circle, breathing out as we come back. So this circular motion is that scooping of the water and letting it shower all over us. Okay, stay leaning back. We're going to take a breath in, and we're going to breathe out as we play with the waves, curving upwards slightly, breathing in as the waves come back. Out, in. So again, your legs are doing all the hard work, pushing you forwards and bringing you back. Can your shoulders and arms relax a few percent more? Submerging in the rhythm of the waves. Just like your breath, we're connected to nature. Qigong is inspired by the natural world and that connection. Keeping your arms out in front of you now at the end of that move. We're going to face our palms together. They've got a gap in between them. And this time we're going to breathe in as we come back. We're going to open up our wings and breathe out as we come forwards. In, out, in, out. We're going to go to the other side. So just putting the other foot slightly out. We're going to do the same on this side. I'll talk less this time because I want you to get into it a bit more. Just remember softening the shoulders and the arms as much as you can, matching the moves with your breath. Let your legs do the hard work. Upper body's nice and soft. So breathing in as you lean and scoop. Breathing out as you come back. We're going to go into playing with the waves. So stay leaning back. Take a breath in. And breathe out as you play with the wave. In And let this wave curve upwards slightly as you push with your legs. Remember, these breaths should be nice, full belly breaths, nice and healthy. Keeping your arms out in front of you, facing your palms with a gap, about that big. Taking a breath in as you come back. Open up your wings and breathe out as you come forward. In. I like to imagine this heart's becoming a bird flying over the waves and the sea, feeling really free. We're going to come back to the center, letting your arms hang by your side. Okay. Now we're going to bring our fists together. Remember, we're not clenching, they're nice and soft. We're going to take a breath in, and as we breathe out, we're going to punch nice and gently in front, and then breathe in as it comes in. It'll show you from the side, breathing out, breathing in, alternating what side that we're punching. And see if you can soften your arms, your hands, your fingers a few percent more. We're not locking these arms out, they're keeping that softness in the elbow. Just letting your arms hang by your side at the end of that set. We're going to go into Wild Goose. So this is one of the ones that people quite often really like and will practice at home. So you might want to bear that in mind. You can keep your feet flat completely if you want to, or you can go on your tiptoes. If you're going to go on your tiptoes, it is good to develop your balance. A lot of qigong is really great for balance and preventing falls. But please make sure that you've got something like a chair nearby that you can lean on if you lose your balance. So we're going to take a breath in. We're going to lift up our arms like big wings. We're going to breathe out as we come down. So you can see I'm going up on my tiptoes. So I breathe in. And as I breathe out, I'm coming back down. But you don't need to do that. You can do flat feet. Just see what feels good for you. And obviously if you're seated, then you just do these arm movements. Make sure you're matching your breathing. One more. Going to go into spinning wheel. We're nearly done. Breathing in. Spinning this wheel all the way up and breathing out as you come down. In. Again, you can lift up your heel as you spin the wheel if that feels good. Other way. Letting your arms hang by your side. The penultimate move is bouncing ball. You can keep your feet in contact with the ground and just lift up your heel, Or you can lift up your foot off the ground, but again, make sure you've got something around you to keep you safe in case you have a wobble. We're going to lift up one hand and the opposite knee comes up as we breathe in, and we breathe out as they go down. So it's kind of like we're running in slow motion. Definitely one for balance. Might test your balance, but it can also really improve your balance if you practice this. So we're breathing in as we come up, opposite hand to leg, breathing out as we come down. And just do one more on each side. Okay, and the closing move. We're going to bring our fingers together. We're going to breathe into the chest, moving nice and slowly. Turn the palms over and breathe out as we send all that energy down. We're just balancing all of this chi that you've been working and moving. We're banking it all in that lower dantian. Nice sustained energy to support you throughout the rest of today. Lots of people report qigong helps them sleep better, feel more relaxed, less pain, less aches. Just see how you find the benefits today. And we're going to let our arms just hang by our side, bringing our feet back together, rubbing our hands together, building up some of that chi. We're just going to rub that into that dantian area, give it a bit of a rub, a bit of a jiggle. Then we're going to rub some of that into our lower back, our kidney points. Then we're going to brush off finally some of any negative stagnant chi that's come out the marrow of our bones. We're just brushing this off. So we do the outside of the body first and the inside. Just give ourselves a bit of a dust. Okay, thank you very much for sharing the session with me today. We'd love to hear your feedback. If you've got any feedback about what you noticed, any benefits in the comments, that would be really great. If you've got any questions too, feel free to ask. Thank you for joining, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Drink plenty of water, listen to your body, and just take really good care of yourself. Thank you.